we always like to start by taking a look and seeing who's in the green room tonight. I am genuinely thrilled and honoured to have my first guest on the programme. He's a true Hollywood great. His remarkable career has stretched over an incredible 6 decades. He's won Oscars, both as an actor and a producer, and he's starred in iconic, game-changing movies like Wall Street, Basic Instinct, The China Syndrome, Fatal Attraction, so many more. It is the legendary Michael Douglas, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Michael, great to have you here. Michael Douglas. Lovely to see you, sir. Also in my green room tonight, one of the funniest and most popular entertainers in the country. It's the hilarious John Bishop. Hey, John. Lovely to have you here, John. And we also have the breakout star of Coronation Street. She was also fantastic in the brilliant series Our Girl. It is Michelle Keegan. Hey, Michelle. Nice to have you back. Happy to join me again. And my final guest tonight, well, he kind of divides people. OK? Some think he's an over-the-top, badly-dressed, ill-mannered, foul-mouthed buffoon. Others, like me, think he's a talented, well-dressed comic genius. It's Keith Lemon! I just said well-dressed and I see the hat. The hat. I mean, I try and be on your side with the clothes, but the hat's too far even for me, Keith. Off. OK. But that's not all. We also have great music on the show this evening. They sold over 50 million records. They've had more than 2.5 billion views on YouTube. It's the fantastic One Republic. Hey, guys. Thank you for coming on. Look at that. That's a crowd full of musicians right there. OK, so before we get to that, the Great British Bake Off may be over, and, of course, we all miss it. We love the Bake Off, don't we? I mean, we miss it's not on. It was a great show, but the trouble is, I think Bake Off encourages the rest of us to think we can make cakes as good as the ones that are made by professionals, especially when we're making them for our children. Now, one dad was asked by his daughter that she wanted a special Frozen-themed cake for her birthday. And you know the movie Frozen, so many characters he could have gone from. He could have made Princess Elsa or Olaf, the funny little snowman. He could have tried to make the magical kingdom at the end. Here's the Frozen cake he actually made for her. I mean, you know, it does what it says on the can. And a little bit of love's gone into that. But the little girl was upset, and ironically, she wouldn't let it go. How about if your children said, I'd like a cake that looked like the lovely castle, the magical kingdom in Disney World? OK, how about Mickey's Magical Kingdom? You can't go wrong there, can you? Or maybe you can. Is it just me, or does it look like there's been a fire in the dildo factory? Shall we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? When they talk about A-list actors, he is at the very top of that list. Please go crazy for the one and only Mr. Michael Douglas.
Thank you. You're very fine. Thank you. You're very kind. Okay.
Well,
as John just said, I'm straight from the dildo.
Yeah. Well, look, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming here. I was talking earlier, I mentioned some of your movies. Your career has spanned over 40 years in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is.
And I'm pleased to say, and hopefully on behalf of all of us, you show no signs of slowing down. You've got a full slate. You're really back in the saddle making movies, aren't you?
Yeah, I like my day job. You know, I really like it. I think a little bit. I had a cancer battle about 4 or 5 years ago, you know, and came out just fine, all cancer-free. But you kind of get this extra surge of energy to go on. And I forgot how much I enjoyed producing. I produced a lot of movies, too. So I've been actively involved in both some acting and producing, and then I do all my other side stuff.
Let's talk about your dad a little bit before we get back to you and your career, because what an incredible man, what an incredible actor, what a charismatic star he was. Mr. Kirk Douglas, ladies and gentlemen, I think all of his movies have touched us in different ways. Thank you. And this is Michael. He's turning 100 years old next month.
He's 100. He's 100 on December 9th, and I'm in charge of planning the party.
Wow.
You know, so, which has turned out to be a major function.
Let's talk about the film Traffic. Incredible film. First time you acted on screen, I believe, with your wife, with the beautiful Catherine Zeta-Jones.
It was. And Catherine was pregnant with our daughter at the time. Although we were in like separate stories, but it was a treat. Steven Soderbergh, who I later worked with on Liberace, and yeah, really good movie. Stands up.
Incredible film. What I'm curious about, I guess, and I read up that in your youth you smoked the occasional weed cigarette.
In my youth?
Yeah.
Still a young guy. Yeah.
Well, it's keeping you young.
Yeah.
And that's kind of more or less decriminalised in America now. In some states it's legal, in other areas it's looked at more lightly. But other drugs, you know, obviously have harsher effects. And I know your son had problems with drugs, and you supported him and you were there for him for that. So where do you stand on that issue? Do you think, is it something where you say, OK, drugs should be legal? Do you think that the system in place is satisfactory right now?
Well, there's a lot of things in that question. You know, for the audience, yeah, my son was a heroin addict and ended up doing 7.5 years in federal prison for being a dealer to support his habit. Has just recently gotten out. He's well, I might add, but it's certainly gone through all of us the pain and anxiety of this. And it doesn't seem to be working in terms of our penal system of throwing in nonviolent, emphasize that, nonviolent drug offenders with serious violent prisoners is just not working.
Well, it's obviously a bigger topic than we can really go into here, but it's good to hear you answer, because obviously you have first-hand experience and you've spoken about it in the past, I know. Let me ask you about the relationship with Catherine a little bit. The age difference became a big thing when you first got together. It was the topic everyone would talk about. Was it 25 years?
25 years.
OK. So how is that? You keeping up with her, or her trying to keep up with you? How does that work out?
Let's see, 18 years later, good, you know. I mean, she's wonderful. You know, 2 beautiful children with her. We don't, you know, but we joke once in a while, you know, we say, oh, honey, I can't wait, you know, when you get older and you're going to be in the wheelchair and I'm going to be wheeling you around and you're going to be saying, where are we going? Where are we going? And I'll whisper to you, Cartier, darling, Cartier.
There you go. She's got it all mapped out.
She got it all figured out.
When did you meet her? What was the first date, or when did you first approach her?
I met her. I just had seen Zorro, and then I was over at the Deauville Film Festival, and I saw that the next night of the festival, Catherine was going to be there with Zorro. So I said, all right. I asked the gentleman, my publicist, I'd really like to meet her. Can you find out if I can have a drink with her? And so they got back to me and said, yes, she's only going to be in for the one night, but she was in the middle of making Entrapment at that time. And I met her, you know, in the bar, and a total gentleman. And then they had to go off and do their work. And I said, you know, a chance when you come back, you know, if you want to have a nightcap and stuff. And she came back after all her work. We sat there for a little while. And I said to her after about half an hour, you know, I'm going to be the father of your children. And
things move fast.
Yeah, but it sounded good. And she said, you know, I've heard a lot about you. And I've seen a lot about you, and I think it's time that I say goodnight.
Wow.
And so I thought, oh, I've totally blew. She was gone early the next morning, and she went to a place, I don't know, maybe you all know. You know where Mull is in Scotland, the islands?
Mull?
Mull.
Mull.
Mull, thanks to you, Mull, up there, Mull. So I thought, it's all gone. I've just destroyed it. So I said, listen, I gotta find some roses, you know, and I gotta get some roses to her. And I couldn't believe it. By the time that Catherine arrived in Mull, she said, oh, and I can't do a Scottish accent. Oh, you'd never guess what's here in your rooms.
You really can't do a Scottish accent.
And they got her some flowers and an apology. And anyway, so I guess it worked out.
So that worked out. Well, that's so lovely. 18 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
OK, let's talk about, you mentioned the stunt. It's just the most perfect screenplay, the most perfect sort of on-screen chemistry between you and Kathleen. Fun to make, was it, or was it grueling? Because
it was tough. I mean, it's tough. Those were one of the first pictures where I was both the producer and the actor. So we had a tough shooting schedules, a tough locations, but the joy of making it look effortless was so much fun, and kind of combining the romantic action with comedy was really a joy. I called on my old friend Danny DeVito, but I could not have made this movie without Kathleen Turner. I can't think of any actress who went through what she had to go through on this picture.
But a huge success for both.
Huge success. Very much the mudslide became infamous, and the muff dive in particular.
Well, we are going to relive that very scene right now. I couldn't set it better up myself, but here you go. It's mudslide followed by muff dive.
Okay, let's make some time.
You...
Shit.
A joyful moment.
Still works.
There's another classic movie, Wall Street. And they, you know, really had so much impact. I mean, really did. And the gecko character became the byword for that kind of greedy corporate figure who clearly is not meant to be the sympathetic character in the film.
Right.
But such was the time. I think he became something of a hero for people.
It's the craziest thing to this day. I mean, if I get one more drunken Wall Street or, hey, man, you're the man, you know, hey, you're the guy. I said, I went to jail. I was a villain. Nah.
You must have. Did you get greedy's good shout?
Oh, up there. You know what? Greed all the time. It's like, yeah, man, greed is good. Yeah.
I hope next time you step back, you're missing the point.
Right.
Let's talk about Wonder Boys. One of my favourites of your films. I mean, just a wonderful, wonderful movie. I know you're fond of it. Why do you think that didn't click with the crowd?
Just, you know, just a little too quirky.
Because the rumour I heard was people didn't know what it was, and the poster didn't give much away. There was this poster for it, and someone said to me they weren't sure what the film was about. Is it a remake of Mrs. Doubtfire? Which I can kind of see.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was a literary piece.
But just a wonderful film.
Thank you, yeah, it was.
Bob Dylan won the Oscar for...
He won the Oscar for song, I think Things Are Strange.
Where did you meet Dylan for the first time?
The first time I met Bob Dylan was at after the Golden Globes Awards for Wall Street. And I went back, I had won. And as I was leaving to go to the Golden Globes, I had met George Harrison.
Hold it, one name at a time. Come on.
I know. In the lobby, George Harrison. I go to the awards, and what happened, you win, you go back, you do the press. By the time I come out of the press and all that, everybody's gone home. So I'm kind of I go back to my hotel feeling sorry for myself.
So you just won this big award, but you're alone in the hotel?
Yeah, kind of. I'm back. So I go back, and about 12 o'clock that night, I get a call in the hotel room. I said, oh, Michael? I said, yeah, it's George Harrison. Hey, George. Hey, me and my mate are out here. We just don't come on by. I said, yeah, sure, George. Fantastic. 2 minutes later, knock on the door. George Harrison walks in with Bob Dylan.
Oh, wow.
Bob Dylan, and the biggest dog I'd ever seen in my life. I mean, bigger than a great, a mastiff. And they came in, I told them the awards, so I ordered some caviar, you know, champagne. I'm talking with George, Bob's not saying much. The dog's walking back and forth. I'm sort of talking over the dog, a huge dog walking back and forth. And also the dog starts sniffing. And he goes to caviar. He starts licking up $150 a lick. You know, just licking. I'm looking, I'm going, the dog's eating the caviar, you know? And Bob, I'm waiting for Bob. It's Bob's dog, you know? Bob's just looking. Bob's not saying nothing. Bob's looking. And finally, I see him about to do something. He goes, far out, he likes caviar.
Wow. That's fantastic. I'm just going to ask you one more question before we go on to the next part of the show. You mentioned Behind the Candelabra, where you played Liberace. What an incredible film.
Yeah.
Incredible performance, Liberace. I hope you've seen that film. And in particular, you've had a lot of sex scenes in movies over the years.
Right.
With many leading ladies. This, I think, was your first leading man.
It was.
You and Matt Damon together.
Yes.
Now, did that... You're both straight men, as far as I know.
Right.
Was that any different... was that any different than doing it with a woman who you're not in a relationship with as an actor, or...?
Not really.
He's a good-looking boy. He's a good-looking boy.
People always think, you know, that sex scenes in films are hot, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is very, as you know, Jonathan.
I know so well.
I know. But you know, they're choreographed, and it's very mapped out as to what you're going to do. So, in our infamous buggering scene.
Submitted for your consideration.
You know, we knew it was there.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it was coming in and all of that. So we joked a little bit with each other about what flavored chapstick, you know, he wanted today, this and that. And I mean, I just had to take my hat off to him. It was so great. And so we did it, and Steven Soderbergh, who is also the cameraman, the operator, had this shot and doing poppers, you know, this, and they were doing all that. And they cut and put the camera down, and he said, I have no notes.
OK, hey, lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to be here for the rest of the show. It's Michael Douglas. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to take a break. Michael Douglas will be with us when we get back, as well as John Bishop, Michelle Keegan and Keith Lemon coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Douglas is still with me, I'm pleased today, but let's get my next guest out. He's an utterly brilliant comedian from Liverpool, and I genuinely think, this is no exaggeration, I think we might have found this generation's Jimmy Tarbuck. And I mean that. Here he is, it's John Bishop, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, John, you're looking good. Isn't John looking good, ladies and gentlemen? You know, I was talking briefly beforehand to Michael Douglas about you.
Really?
And he said he thought you were too handsome to be a comedian.
I like that. I like that.
And I said he's not much of a comedian.
I literally just walk on and go... and then walk off.
No, but I pointed out to him that you were acting a lot more these days. You're doing a lot of acting.
I am doing a bit. That's why I've got this beard now. I'm doing a drama at the moment called Fearless. So I play a lazy photographer who I've decided is so lazy he doesn't shave. so that's why I've got this on.
So Michael also mentioned hanging out with George Harrison back in the day, and you recently spent time with Paul and Ringo, the two remaining Beatles, didn't you? That must have been, for someone from Liverpool, that must be a big thing.
It was an absolute joy. It was... It was... See that picture? That was one of those moments. What happened is I interviewed them for the One Show. So they said, OK, you'd interview them one day, and then the next day I was hosting the Facebook Live version of their movie,
This
8
was
days
the
a week.
Ron Howard movie, which is
The
based
Ron
on
Howard,
their arrival in America.
documentary, 8 days a week. And what happened is they said, look, it's going to go live around the world, and you'll do that the next day. So I had the introduction the first day. So I go into this room to interview them. It was that typical, like, you've got 8 minutes. I walked in. I mean, it's the Beatles. I'm walking in thinking, I don't know what to say, but I'm trying to be calm. And Paul stood up and goes, I know who this is. How are you? Lovely to see you. How's the family? I'm thinking, this is brilliant. Paul McCartney knows me. We're like mates.
Yeah.
So me and him are chatting, and the girls behind going, look, you've got 4 minutes now for the interview. Do the quick interview. The next day, I thought, I'm going to see them. I met them the day before, we're mates. And they come walking up to the stage, and as they come walking up, Ringo just bursts out laughing. And Paul comes up to me and goes, all right, Frank. I said, what? He said, Ringo said all day yesterday he was convinced you were called Frank. I kept on saying that your name's John. I said, listen, Paul can call me Shirley if he wants. And then we had the interview, we had the chat. It was all going round on Facebook, as I say, around the world and in cinemas. And then they were going to walk away, and I had this fan moment where I thought, I actually think in me head, Paul McCartney's about to say, "Hey, John, what are you doing for lunch on Sunday?" And then I realised that's not going to happen. If I don't get a photograph of this moment now, it will never last. So I just said to him, "Look, I've got to have a selfie. I've got to." So I'm like that, having a selfie, and he gave me a kiss and went, "Well done, Frank." Well done.
We were talking about sex scenes earlier on. In The Accused, when you were in The Accused, you had to perform sex scenes. Now, do you watch those sort of scenes with your kids?
Oh, it was a nightmare, because what happened, I got cast, and I was the father of teenage boys, and I had teenage boys at home. The men now, the blokes, in fact...
Big men.
They're all at university, and they came back for a weekend, which my wife was looking forward to immensely, having the boys back. I hated... There was 3 fucking blokes walking around my house. Just men in my house that I didn't like at all. But when I did this was a couple of years ago, so they were teenagers, and the idea was I was the father of them. My wife had cancer, a nurse came, nursed her through the cancer, she died, and I fell in love with the nurse. And then we had started a relationship, and the big catalyst to the relationship with the boys breaking down was them seeing me in bed with the nurse after my wife had died. So I read the script, and it said...
Oh, it's a script, jeez. I missed that part.
Thank heavens.
Yeah, that's how good an actor I am.
That would have been some confession to just make that.
But there's a scene where he says, right, sexy, and then I found out that Sheridan Smith, who's a brilliant actress, was going to be the nurse. So I thought, this is great, I'm going to get paid to have pretend sex with Sheridan Smith, which, when you've been married for 20-odd years, any sex is great. You know, I can legitimately have a grope and go, "Sorry, love, I'm working." Actually done nothing wrong. So it comes to a bit in the scene, and the director, who's a little Scottish guy called David Blair, said, "Look, I think it's stronger if they don't actually see you. So I just want them to hear you." So my only sex scene I ever did was in a sound box. I had to go into a sound booth with this little fella from Glasgow going, "Right, you're really shagging her, go on, make a noise." "What do you want me to do?" He said, "The noise, you know, I'll let you do when you're having sex." I just say thank you. I don't know. What noise? Well, I had to do it. I had to do this noise. He's a little fellow with the big thumbs. He's going, "Go on, shut up." And I'm going, It was awful. It was the hardest half an hour I've ever had in my life.
I bet it was.
So you'll be excited to know John's going back on tour. You've got it's a nationwide tour.
Yeah, it's a national tour.
But it's the end of next year, isn't it? It's quite a way
It's the end of next year, which is bonkers, but you book in the big venues, which you have to so far ahead. And then you sell up to them. And then after this, we are going to New Zealand, Australia, Europe.
So it's very nearly international.
Nearly international. And Ireland.
And you gigged a little bit in America, haven't you? You did some gigs in LA, I think?
I went over to LA for a holiday, actually, and then I didn't realise I was just staying down the road from the Comedy Store, so I thought, I'll just go along. And I watched a few gigs, and I thought, I fancy doing this. So I asked the guy if I could get up and do an open spot, and they said, "Oh, you know, it's the Comedy Store, it takes years." So I said, "Well, look, that's my email address." And obviously, they found out that I was a professional comedian, so they said, "Come and do it." And I did 2 spots in LA, and fair play. I mean, you know, there's a lot of the shared language we have, but what I found with Americans, there's no sense of irony. No. So I thought, I can go on, no one knows me, so I've got to introduce myself. And I thought, what I'll do is I'll say this gag that I've said in the past, which is, you know, my name's John. I've been married now 23 years, on and off. The on and off bits, the joke bit. So I went onto this stage in America, I said, "Hi everyone, my name's John. I've been married 23 years. And he went, "Woo, woo, 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 joke. There's a joke after that, man. So I did that, and then I did a thing about me. I said this thing about, you know, I used to say I've got 3 boys, but I haven't now because, you know, I've got 3 men. My youngest son's 18, and I was going to say I actually own a bloke. That's what I was going to say. I said, you know, my youngest son's now 18. So I'm on stage, I'm literally on stage going, geez, you're getting on my nerves, you. I've never been at a point where the enthusiasm of the audience is too much. And then I thought, right, my last bit was I was going to do a thing about, I thought I'll mix some politics in. I said, in England, we have the NHS because we're a civilised country, so you get free healthcare. And what happens when you reach middle age as a man? They call you in to say, look, do you want to... It's time for a middle-aged man check where they do a prostate examination. So I was going to do this whole thing about going to see a doctor for a prostate examination where when I went in, I didn't realise it was a female doctor. Right. And so she said to me, look, you know, obviously, not everyone wants a female doctor. You know, would you like anybody else to come in? And I went, oh, that's a little bit much. I know you're a professional, but if you've got a sister... That was the joke. And it's a true story. I tried to set the joke up by saying, you know, in England, we have an NHS, the doctor calls you in, and because I'm going to be 50 this year, you went, stick it up your arse and just walked off.
There you go. Well, if you do get irony, you'll love seeing him on tour. It's called Ween at the Tour. It's the end next year. Mr. John Bishop, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, John. Fabulous. Fabulous. John Bishop. Still to come, I'll be joined by Michelle Keegan and Keith Lemon. Plus, we'll have music from One Republic to you after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Douglas and John Bishop are still here on the couch, and we're about to be joined by my next guest. She first came to our attention on Coronation Street, but now she's the star of the brilliant, gritty award drama Our Girl. It is Michelle Keegan. Michelle, how lovely to have you back here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, last time you came, you were just about to leave Corrie.
Yeah, a few months
Of course,
off.
and that's all happened now. And that was that something you wanted? Did you ask them to write you out, or was that just the way the story went?
No, it was my decision to leave.
Right.
It took me a long time to make that decision. It was like, I think, 2 years it took me to make the final decision. Oh, God, I've got a picture. But, yeah, it was a hard
You look much
decision.
paler there than you do
I
here
do.
today.
But, all right, I've been on holiday. Before you say the orange show, I've been on holiday.
But you're always this colour.
I'm not! I've literally been on holiday, that's why I'm darker.
OK.
But, yeah, and it was their idea to kill the character, which...
And so were you happy with that, though? Would you rather have had the door open to return if you wanted to?
Yeah, obviously, you know, at first I was a bit shocked because, you know, I played it for 6.5 years, but in the long run it helped because it, you know, it pushes you forwards.
The last few weeks, you must have been filming quite a lot in that hospital bed because
Yes.
you hung on in there for a while.
Yeah, I didn't die straight away. I fell off the building, and I got bludgeoned to death.
Yeah.
And then I was in a coma for 3 weeks.
Wow.
So it's quite violent.
So you're in a coma for 3 weeks in the terms of... How long did you shoot, though, in the bed? How long were you filming the coma scene?
I think it was like 8 hours a day in bed, which is my favourite kind of day.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind that.
Is there a danger that you might actually fall asleep while you're there?
Funny you should say that, because when Barbara Knox was doing a scene, you know, who plays Rita, she was doing, like, an emotional, like, speech to me and speaking about our memories together, and I actually drifted off. And I twitched, which made her jump. Wow. So I ruined the whole take for her.
Wow. Have you ever played a person in a coma or when dead for any period of time, Michael?
I did a movie called Coma.
Of course.
A long time ago.
Well, it might have been well, you're laughing, but it might have had nothing to do with comas. And so then Our Girl has been a huge hit for you. Congratulations. I don't know if you watched... Did you watch Our Girl, ladies and gentlemen? Georgie Lambert is a great character for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, really, it's almost like I can see you were stretching your acting muscles doing these different roles. And once again, physically, a very demanding role, I would have thought.
Yeah, we had to do 2 weeks' worth of boot camp, one in England at Sandhurst and one in South Africa. Yeah, so obviously I had to learn the military training and the medical side of the aspects of the job as well.
We've talked with both the gentlemen here about performing physical scenes in tango with other people.
Yeah.
And one of the big first scenes in Our Girl was a big sex scene.
To be fair, it wasn't that big, but it got blue.
Well, don't say that. He might be watching.
You just upset someone massively.
Oh,
That was
say. I always said the wrong thing. No, I mean, it wasn't, you know, it was... yeah, so it was a scene where it went into a sex scene. It wasn't full-on sex scene, yeah.
So now you're about to start in a new ITV series.
Yeah.
And once again, a real departure from you as well, because this is a period piece set in the 60s.
60s, 70s and 80s.
And it's the true story, or it's a dramatised version of the true story, of Bobby Moore and Tina Moore.
And Tina Moore, yeah.
Are you a football fan? Were you excited by Bobby Moore's story?
Not really, and I don't really understand the offside rule. I don't really understand football, if I'm being honest.
I don't think I understand the offside rule, really.
Do you not?
Well, I don't really care. Are you a football fan? Do you like British or soccer, as I believe it's called?
Well, the Swans.
What are they?
Swansea.
Oh, Swansea.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Follow them, you know.
But of course, with Catherine, you must visit the Mumbles quite a lot.
Yeah, at the Mumbles quite a lot. At the Swans. Yeah. Not doing too well right this year.
Are they? Well, I'm not interested, but still, it's nice.
They don't ask me the question.
Yeah. OK, we have a clip of it. This is Tina and Bobby. Have a look at this.
OK, I'm 19, you're 18. When's your birthday?
1940.
Yeah. Yeah. OK. Stop it.
Sorry. That boy's here again. He's looking at you.
The one with the mod hair?
No. The one over there, the blonde one.
He's a bit square.
Handsome, though.
You think?
Apparently he's a footballer for West Ham.
That's not a job.
He's coming over. Shh. He asked you to dance.
He won't, he's too shy.
Wouldn't be too shy.
He's not my type anyway.
It's a pity. Been practicing my moves since I first saw you.
There we go. When's that on? Let me check when that's on. OK. That'll be on ITV early next year. If you're a Bobby Moore fan, you're going to love it, but of course you're going to love it. It's a lovely romantic story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about their life.
They were kind of, in a way, they were like the first big celebrity couple.
Yeah,
in
the
country, weren't
first
they?
golden couple of the time.
Now, does that strike a chord with you? Because you and Mark White are very much celebrated as a very high-profile couple.
I could relate to, you know, the story and the reason why Tina found it hard. Definitely, yeah.
You've been married, what, just over a year?
Over a year and a half.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Thank
Let's do the
you.
American thing. Can you share with us, when did he propose? How did he propose? Was it a lovely evening, or was it kind of just like, oh, I want to do this?
No, it was all planned. It was when we were in Dubai on holiday, and it was 4 days into the holiday, so I had like no idea. And yeah, he got did it on the beach, and there was a table set out with a waiter and candles and.
Had he planned that, or that was just lucky?
Yeah, he was planned. Well, yeah, thank God.
Michael, when did you propose to Catherine?
December 31st, 1999.
Wow.
So right 12 o'clock. The trouble is, so everything always worked out, except we were sicker than dogs. Wow. Both of us. So that part, but it was, you know, boom, right. So I figured I'm never going to forget it, right? The millennium, so at least it was a good way of, you know, being sure, and I would always remember it. Wow. And we got through it, both of us. Honey, you know, we're sick as a dog.
Well, if someone says yes when you're like that, then they must mean it.
Exactly.
John, do you have did you propose romantically?
I proposed to Melanie in a guest house in Buxton, naked. I was naked because I'd just come out the shower, and I'd already said to her dad, I'd done that honourable thing of asking her. Well, I didn't ask her. I said, I'm going to ask your daughter to marry me. Are you OK with that? So it was more of a threat than an ask. And then I came out the shower and just got on one knee and said, everything you can see is all I've got.
beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, the nice thing about... I know you've been on. We've got Keith Lemon coming out. So you guys both know Keith. I've warned Michael about Keith. But even with a warning... Even with a warning, you know, it's hard to prepare yourself, OK?
Okay.
I mean, the hat is only the tip of the iceberg, Michael. OK? But, of course, you've both been on Celebrity Juice with him, and he often seems to be very enamoured of Mark, your husband. He has... He features Mark quite a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he likes doing impressions of Mark.
Yeah. Do you enjoy those impressions of Mark?
Yeah, it was hilarious. Hilarious.
Does Mark enjoy those impressions of Mark?
Yeah. No, he does.
If you haven't seen Celebrity Juice, and it's, you know, I love it, but it's it kind of divides people somewhat, because it's a very full-on show. And once again, I'm just giving you a final warning, Michael, about Keith Lemon. Here's a clip of him doing a bit of Mark.
Unfortunately, Mark can't be here tonight to accept the award, but we filmed a video with Mark early in the week, and he did an acceptance speech. Here he is.
Oh, no.
So, thanks to Shell, he's changed me.
OK, Michelle, it's lovely to have you. You're going to stick around for the rest, I hope. The lovely Michelle Keegan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Michelle. Still to come on the show, and I've warned you enough times. Keith Lemon will be out there, and we've got music for One Republic. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Let's get my final guest out here on the couch. Some people find it amazing he's had so much success on television. It's amazing because they can't believe he's still allowed to be on television. The unique and irrepressible Mr. Keith Lemon, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you again.
We've met now, though. We've met. We'll kiss. We'll kiss. Well, Michelle was panicking. She didn't know what to do. Do I shake hands? Do I kiss? Do I muff dive?
There's a lot of choices.
Michael Douglas in the hizzers!
So, Keith, what have you brought me? I see you brought something out for me.
Well, I didn't know what I was here for. I don't know what I'm plugging.
Well, because I like you, and I think
I like you. You know those. You're one of my heroes.
Okay.
So I've brought you my calendar.
Wow.
Which is out for 2017. And
well,
this one...
well, it would have to be, wouldn't it? Because it's... That's how they work. We all know that.
Just plugging it out.
Oh, OK. What's in here? Let me have a look.
Well,
then.
it's mostly drawings that you colour in because it's very in vogue.
Okay.
It's relaxing and therapeutic to colour in.
OK, and did you bring one for everyone else?
No. I'll send you one. When we exchange emails and addresses and phone numbers.
Yeah. Like Michael Douglas is going to give you his email.
Hey, you know what? I still talk to Injured Elbow. Last time when I was on an...
Idris Elba, is it? Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
There you go. So, congratulations. Before we talk about Celebrity Juice, congratulations on the success of Through the Keyhole.
Oh, thanks.
So, it's a huge success for you, and that's kind of a family show.
Yeah. Well, I have two different settings.
Right.
So after 10 o'clock, I say fucking shit and bitch.
Right.
Before 10 o'clock, I don't swear.
In life as well?
My mum's never heard me swear.
Wow.
First time she saw me on telly, she said, "Oh, you swear a lot, don't you?" I said, "They make me, so I have to get paid."
Yeah, you're bullied
into
into
the script.
OK. But are you surprised when... are you surprised at the people who let you into the house?
Yes.
And B, are you surprised at the houses themselves when you're in there?
Yes.
And C, would you expand on those answers?
Yes, what, you want an anecdote?
Well, I mean, ideally...
I'll tell you what, this series, which I think the first episode's on at Christmas, and then the series starts in January, which is a good slot in it, because everyone's in on January.
Everything's cold,
they're
they're
watching
in
telly, because it got moved, because I went shit mad when they moved it.
Where did they move it to?
To January, I just told you.
Oh, I see. So, we were talking about earlier.
Well, normally we're on in September.
Oh, so
yes. This series, there's been about 4 or 5 houses that weren't as pleasant as you might imagine.
Oh, so you were not let down, but you were surprised that they were, what, a shabby house?
Well, it's quite, I think, an aspirational show. When people watch it on a Saturday night, I think they want to go, ooh, look at that, I've got
It's celebrity homes. It's celebrity homes.
Yeah. But some of these houses that we've done this, I don't want to say names because it's rude, but they're a bit shit. You think, because your house is going to be on TV, it's going to look like you're selling your house. Yeah. And some of them weren't as tidy as what I imagined them to be, especially when it was an owner that was tidy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a fit woman. And the house don't represent them. It kind of, in my mind, thinks, if her house is that messy, what's going on downstairs?
Yeah. You see why you would...
Do you know what I mean? No, I mean, some of them are fantastic, especially when you go to America. In America, I'm always excited because it's icons.
Because you're in America as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully next series, Michael, we might do your house.
Michael, what are the chances of that happening, Michael?
Not much.
Yeah. But listen, I like the way Keith dresses. You know, and that maybe shows because I have a similar flamboyant dress sense. But you get quite a lot of flack for it, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't care.
You don't care, so you don't mind at all?
Well, I'm on telly, so I have a licence to dress a bit quirky, don't I, really? I won't go to Costco or anything wearing a hat like this. It's like, ooh, I'm here, it's me on telly! Yeah. I'm here!
Is the hair, is that attached to the hat, or is it your actual hair?
But when I take my hat off, I look like a wrestler.
All right, so let's talk about Juice, Celebrity Juice. So now, Celebrity Juice pushes things about as far as I feel you could push things on TV. And that must be the intention. Is that what you...
I don't really know what goes on Celebrity Juice because I'm pretty drunk.
Right.
When we do Celebrity Juice, especially Holly, she gets drunk like a tramp. And, we just really enjoy ourselves, and I think that's been the success of it. People watching us... they enjoy watching us enjoy ourselves, I guess.
Well, I've been on.
Yeah.
Who are you out there? Who is on your wish list of people you're trying to get on who haven't said yes yet?
Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
Not Kylie Jenner, she's too young.
Yeah.
Kylie Minogue's right age for me.
She'd be great.
That's all right. Or Danny Minogue. Or anyone who knows the Minogues.
Yeah.
I like the Minogues.
Yeah.
And I've tweeted her.
And what did she say back?
She said, I'll think about it, which, of course, you know is showbiz for fuck off, no chance.
Yeah. Michael, if you were asked to go on Celebrity Juice, what would your response be?
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
He would have fun, though, wouldn't he?
I think he might have fun. I mean, sometimes you do make people, you know, you take them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. You know Billy Ocean, don't you?
Sure, I did a music video when the going gets tough.
Yeah.
When the going gets tough, it's tough.
He's my father.
You call him Dad?
Yeah.
Keith genuinely maintains that Billy Ocean is his father.
Ask him. You ask him.
Keith, you're a big fan of Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
We know that. And I'm a big fan of Celebrity Juice, you know.
Thanks.
And I love the games you play in it, and we thought maybe you would help us out playing a kind of a guessing game for Michael.
Yes.
And so we will get you...
Are we keeping our clothes on?
Well... let's see how it goes. But you'll give clues which refer to Michael Douglas's movies.
All right,
and we'll see if Michael can get the films. From your clues, the others can join in and help.
Yeah.
We'd like you to get changed into a suitable outfit for this, if that's OK.
Oh, yeah.
OK, so let's say thank you for now. Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be back in just a second. Mr Keith Lemon. And we'll be back in a minute. And then we'll be playing Win, Lose or Draws. Good luck, team. Let's welcome back Mr Keith Lemon, ladies and gentlemen. Right, would you like to come down a little bit? You move down to me. That's it. There it is. Come on, Keith. OK. So... looking good. You look a bit like 11 from Stranger Things. OK, here we go. So we're going to play Win, Lose or Draws. Keith is going to turn round.
No.
He's wearing drawers. That's why it's Win, Lose or Draws. But on the drawers, I hope you've got the drawers on.
Yes.
On the drawers, he's going to affix something, and he will then give us a Basic Instinct-style flash. You have to register the clue, process the information, and tell me which of Michael Douglas's films the clue refers to. Are you ready, team?
Yep.
Pop it on. And are you ready? And flash.
That was a quick flash.
I know. You like one more, team?
Streets of San Francisco.
No! One more flash, and then I'm gonna...
Just the cars chasing each other.
Traffic.
Traffic.
Traffic! OK, go on, let's have a look. That's it, that's it.
This is sick. You're on after 10, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are, okay.
Would you describe this as a career high point, Michael?
Yeah, this is...
OK, you ready? Yeah. And give us a flash.
Fatal attraction.
Fatal attraction it is. Good work. OK, tell me when you're fixed. You're fixed? Yeah. OK, spin it round. Good, good. Let's bring it round, bring it round. OK, lovely, lovely. Well, I say lovely. It's not actually very lovely. OK, and if you're ready, give us a flash.
Wrong way around.
Romancing
the stone.
Romancing the stone. It is. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keith Lemon, and join me also in saying thank you to Michelle Keegan, John Bishop, and Michael Douglas. OK, next week here on the show, I'll be joined by Robbie Williams. We've got Mickey Flanagan, Little Mixby, and also Jeremy Clarkson. But now, performing kids, here they are. It's One Republic.
Days when we fight till our giving. Yeah, perfect disasters. But we were reaching for the rafters. Yeah, and most of the days we were searching for ways to get up and get out of the town we were raised, yeah, 'cause we were done. I remember we were sleeping in cars, we were searching for ours, we were burning cigars with the white plastic tips till we saw the sun. And we said crazy things like, I refuse to look back thinking days were better just because of younger days. I don't know what's round the corner, way I feel right now, I swear will never change. Back when we were kids, sure we will never die. You and me were kids, sure that we'll never die. Nights when we kept dancing, changing all our plans and making every day a holiday. Feel the years stop burning, city lights keep turning. There's something about this feels the same. Back when we were kids, so we'll never die. You and me were kids, swear that we'll never die. Oh yeah. I refuse to look back thinking days were better just because of younger days. Oh yeah. I don't know what's round the corner, way I feel right now, I swear will never change. You and me were kids. Thank you. Gracias.
One Republic. There you go. Thank you, guys. That'd be great.